Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show, where we go through the news rapidly and we also add wit whenever possible. Well, Donald Trump's negotiating prowess was on display again yesterday as Canada, just like Mexico, capitulated under the tariff threat and is now going to help us at the border. By the way, everything going on at the border from Mexico, our actions, Canada's actions now, it just goes to show you, all of this should have been going on the last 4 freaking years. It's kind of sad. Hegseth, he went down the border, and what he went there for is to tell the military he supports them 100%, and they're about ready to unleash on the drug cartels. The drug cartels apparently are going to use drones and other mechanizations to try to harass our military. Good luck with that, drug cartels. You know what? Can you imagine how miserable they are right now? And look at what's going on at the border. It's gone dropped. People trying to get in. Musk has Doge working very hard. Apparently, he's got a bunch of whiz kids surrounding him, and he's claiming they're working 120 hours a week. That's why they're getting so much done. You know what I heard about the Treasury actually writing checks and giving out money no matter who it was because they were told just to release the money. Musk will put a stop to that. Trump's going to have a combined press conference with Netanyahu. I think it's today. It might be tomorrow. But that will be a nice sight to behold. Can you imagine how happy Netanyahu is having Trump back? The Department of Education looks like it's getting ready to be. By the way, I got to make fun of Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie submitted a bill. He never passed the bill. I don't think he's ever passed a bill. Thomas Massie submitted a bill, one sentence about the abolishment of the Department of Education. Massie is going to have nothing to do with the abolishment of the Department of Education. The 4th Congressional District in Kentucky has the least effective congressman in Congress. Way to go, Northern Kentucky. All right, Murdoch. Good old Rupert. On again, off again, bromance with Trump. It's on again, of course, because Trump's president. And Murdoch went to the Oval Office and had a meeting with him. Beautiful. Can you imagine how much Trump loved that? The Pentagon media. Well, Hegseth didn't take long. Out of the Pentagon media with their little special room, little headquarters at the Pentagon. New York Times, out. NPR, out. Who else is out? Who's in? One American News. Breitbart. It's pretty good stuff. 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes apparently is under order of the FCC chairman, Trump's new chairman, to release the edited tape of 60 Minutes. Of course, there's litigation going on as well. The actual producer of that is being defiant. Keith Siegel was an American hostage taken by Hamas that's been released. He thanks Trump for it, and he says he was starved nearly to death. Somalia. I can't believe I missed this yesterday. Over the weekend, Trump had the military hit Somalia, ISIS hidden in Somalia caves, blew the hell out of them. More to come. Pam Bondi is set to have a full vote of the United States Senate where she will finally be able to take office. And by the way, I was watching this morning, the Senate committee has now approved by a 14-13 vote RFK Jr. to go to the full Senate. Looks like RFK Jr. is going to make it. Senator Cassidy did vote for him. And Chris Wright has now been confirmed as the new energy secretary for the Trump administration. And big news for Tulsi Gabbard. It looks like she's going to make it too. Why? Because Senator Collins has come out to vote for her in support of her. And USAID, I just did a Facebook Live about it. This is nuts. About $50 billion a year, money being thrown all over the freaking place, getting ready to be shut down and merged into the Secretary of State's purview, Marco Rubio. But you talk about a slush fund. Check out my Facebook Live. Hostages in Venezuela. Missed this yesterday, too. I just forgot to report it. Rick Grinnell, who's a special envoy troubleshooter for the Trump administration, went down to Venezuela and brought back 6 hostages. I've met Rick, hung out with him at the Kentucky Derby, hung out with him in Mar-a-Lago a little bit. Probably doesn't remember me, but I remember him, of course. And Rick Grinnell is going to be doing this all over the world. for Trump. Biden has accepted an invitation to sign a contract with CAA, a big media company agency. Who's going to hire Joe Biden to come give a speech? Secretary Bessent has said the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau should no longer be doing anything. He's taking control. And Pfizer is paying $60 million for some fraud. Imagine that. But we're supposed to trust them. A sovereign wealth fund under executive orders being created by Donald Trump. This is going to allow the United States to participate in the ownership of TikTok. Starlink Canada. First he had a contract for $100 million. Ontario yanked it, but now it's back on since Canada has worked out their differences for Trump. And guess what? This is great. Losing a $100 million contract, you know what old Elon Musk said? Oh, well. Colombia, you got to love it. The Prime Minister of Colombia is saying, all Colombian refugees, illegal immigrants in the United States, please come back voluntarily. I love it. And Musk apparently is working with Jamie Dimon to convince the bond markets that everything he's going to be doing on cutting waste will help the American debt situation. And guess where Trump's going to send a bunch of these illegal immigrants? Not only to Guantanamo Bay or back to their countries, the worst El Salvador jail there is. I saw a video on that place. Doesn't look very good. And there's a big recall on broccoli. You know what I say? Why should there be a recall on broccoli? Because who buys it and eats it anyway? Sabrina, does your family eat broccoli?
Yeah, but not from Walmart.
I used to not eat broccoli, but now I do eat broccoli, and I like broccoli. And the best broccoli in the history of the world was Brian Fields' broccoli at the Lucky Duck in Taylor Mill. I'm sure he still has it at his Hebron place. It's the best broccoli in the world. You're eating this broccoli, it's almost like, what the hell? I found out why. They fry it. Everything fried tastes good, right? And the New Jersey governor, Pat Murphy, says he's got an immigrant in his house and he dares the Trump administration to do anything about it. Well, I got to say this. If it's an illegal immigrant, Tom Homan himself will probably be coming to his door. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, local news. All right, local news. I've picked two topics. One, a huge Falmouth, Kentucky, in Pendleton County, drug bust. They nailed a lot, and this was big time. Methamphetamine trafficking charges. They nailed, this guy's name is Dylan Clark. Big time drug bust. You know what, folks? We need more drug busts. And this is crazy. Deer Park. Crazy things are happening in Deer Park. Bill Cunningham no longer has control over Deer Park, obviously. A Brianna Stroud in Deer Park, 2 counts of felonious assault. She shot her 12-year-old in the head. Insane. Briasha Stout. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Jamie Spindley in his World News.
Hello again. Today's World Headlines. A 15-year-old boy died after being stabbed at a Catholic high school in Sheffield, South Yorkshire, England. He was seriously injured and taken to the hospital where he later died. Police arrested another 15-year-old and closed the school. Rebel groups in eastern DR Congo, including Rwanda-backed M23, announced a humanitarian ceasefire starting today. Recent clashes around Goma left at least 900 people dead and nearly 3,000 injured, according to the United Nations. In other news, El Salvador offered to take in criminals deported from the U.S., even those with U.S. citizenship, and detain them in its mega prisons. The agreement was made during the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's visit with the El Salvador president. And a teenage girl died after a shark attack at Warren Beach near Brisbane, Australia. Paramedics rushed to the scene but could not save her life. You're up to date on the latest world headlines. I'll be back tomorrow, but stay tuned for Sports Without Boundaries. Cheerio.
All right, here we go with Sports Without Boundaries. The University of Kentucky plays Ole Miss tonight. Please give us a win. We've dropped down number 14 now. We would have won up. We were at 8, and we beat Tennessee. We would have went up. Instead, we went down, or we were 12, I think. All right, Super Bowl's coming up this weekend. I'm just going to say that every day this week. And Luka Doncic, who got traded to the Lakers, The week before he got traded, he had bought a $15 million home in the Dallas area. But you know what? He'll be able to resell it. He's okay. Coming up next, pop culture, where I got one story that always grabs a lot of views when we talk about this guy. Well, P. Diddy is in a world of hurt. There are even more trafficking charges against him. You know, when you think about P. Diddy, all the trafficking charges, all the lawsuits, it's never ending. And he's sitting there in jail. Will he take his own life? Will he be whacked? Where will this all go? It's insane. There's a documentary out right now about P. Diddy. I think it was the one that was done by 50 Cent. I have to watch it so I can find out more about this. But old P. Diddy, I'll never understand why P. Diddy didn't run when he had the chance. If you were P. Diddy. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. I hope you have a great day.